Check 1 2. Check 1 2 3. Check 1 2 3. Hey, what's going on, guys? Going to be jumping into a few things. Exhibition baseball here, kind of talking sliders for MLB The Show 21, what that might look like this year, what it might not look like this year. And looking at really where I spent probably most of my time with this game so far, which is the Stadium Creator. So having a lot of fun with this. Still a lot of things I wish that you could do with the Stadium Creator, but before we jump into some gameplay and kind of talk about maybe how things are looking like that, because I do have some, I think, pretty cool things that will make this game pretty fun for folks this year if we really kind of dive into a full slider set. But you're looking at Kaiser Permanente Ballpark here in Oakland, California. I'm not sure why that has a period after Oakland. That must be their doing. But yeah, this is a park that I've made. I kind of teased out this weekend that I wanted to do a little just yeah, it's just kind of a showcase of the stadium, showcase of the mode, discuss the mode, and maybe some hopes for Stadium Creator. First off, this is one of the coolest game modes that I've seen in a sports game. I mean, period. Like, this is, and let's just talk baseball. I think one of the best console features in a baseball game that I've ever seen was in a game called All-Star Baseball, where they actually had an expansion mode, and you actually could choose a custom stadium that, kind of like how they have here, like they have some different ones you can pick from default. This mode here, this Stadium Creator, is probably the coolest feature in a baseball game that I've seen since All-Star Baseball. It's not perfect. There are definitely some things, but I think for a first instance of this, first iteration, it's remarkably well done. The details are tremendous. Really, really cool. At the same time, there are a few like head-scratching things that you just can't do. You know, as we kind of look here at the outfield, you'll notice, at least what I noticed first of all, is that you can't put any sort of like ads. You can't put anything on the actual walls. So they leave the walls kind of looking a little bit bland. That's kind of a big thing there. You are limited in save space. You can see kind of that top red little looks like a microchip, or what do you want to call it, the micro SD card. We are just about maxed out on what we have in this stadium, yet there's still quite a lot that I would love to add to this stadium. And what's cool is you can do this 30 times, right? They let you build 30 stadiums, but I wish that save feature applied across all stadiums, because what if I only want to work on like 3 instead of 30, but give me, you know, 33% of the save space for that stadium? You can make some really cool stuff. And I guess the reason is if you went to go download stadiums people were making, they all need to kind of stay within that range. So it makes sense. But, you know, not having ads on the walls is kind of a big thing. You'll also notice some little things, like when you look at the outfield walls, there are some, first off, you need to use one of these presets if you're ever going to use this mode in Diamond Dynasty Online or anything like that. But you'll notice like some of these really big ones, as I just kind of scroll through, and I'll wait until I can see one that's doing what I'm talking about. Okay, so like here, here's one with a really deep right field. Now, you can adjust the stands and all that stuff, and it's really, really cool. What's weird, though, is look at the grass in right field. See how the pattern stops? Like, the patterns that they've made for these only fit certain sizes. So you have this really nice banding on the field, and then it just kind of stops out in right field. I mean, it looks terrible, right? And you'll see that in various setups here. But I mean, really, again, really, it's a really nitpicky thing. I mean, this is a phenomenal thing that San Diego Studios has done with this. I mean, just there's no other way to call it. Again, there's some quirky little things that I'm hoping they can fix, and I mean, goodness, for the amount of detail that's already in this, I'm very optimistic that they'll be able to. And sorry, I'm trying to get down to my actual dimensions. Of course, I had to pick one way at the bottom, so it takes forever. You can't hold down to scroll any quicker. But let's see, where is it at? Oh, I must have passed it. It's the 365 in right field is what I'm looking for. There it is. So there's our dimensions. So yes, that was one little quirky thing there. Let's kind of back out here to where we can kind of see what we're doing. Here, actually, it works better if I back all the way out and just, oops, no, don't randomize my stadium. I would cry. But let me just kind of get back to that wide shot, and I found kind of the best way to load that wide shot is just to reload the stadium here. And yeah, you know, I've had a lot of people ask on Twitter, I mean everywhere, Reddit, you know, hey, are you going to be doing sliders this year? And I don't know. I'm not ignoring people. I don't really know. Without carryover saves, I don't really know how much time I want to invest in the game. I mean, I'm really enjoying making stadiums, so I can tell you if I do franchise, it will probably be either with a, you know, kind of a fictitious relocation, or maybe moving like the Oakland A's, which is kind of what I set this stadium up originally, was to kind of do that. And that'll kind of take me maybe to my next thing that I'm hoping we see as an improvement, because there's lots of good things to talk about, and I definitely will. I'll kind of show you guys if you want how I made the stadium and some of the little quirks that I had to kind of work around. But like, you know, when you go to scenery, they give you, there's so many options that they give you as far as props. So like whether it's scoreboards or trees or buildings that you're seeing, all, I mean, unbelievable concession stands, lights for the stadium, roofs, different bleachers, different, you know, sections of seating. It's an unbelievable amount of stuff. But then they're really limited in like what they do with like off in the distance. So like I originally made this, and of course I wanted to make it a coastal setup, right? Because that's the potential new Oakland Stadium would be in a coastal setting. But as you see, as I go up here, you can see it's okay, right? But like one of the things that drives me a little bonkers about this mode is that like I want to be able to rotate my stadium, because really, you know, home plate's facing this way, right? We're looking out here. But the new Oakland Stadium, for the drawings I've seen, is it would be more like you're looking out the center field here, and you'd have water off to right field. But you can't. So for all the things that you can do in this mode, you can't rotate just this full stadium here. I mean, I want to be able to kind of take this entire campus and just rotate it. I think that would be a really, really cool feature. But again, it's, you know, kind of nitpicky. So again, this is a stadium I made. It has really been something I've been working on here the last few days. It's definitely taken a while. What's up, D-Man? Yeah, I've had a lot of people. I mean, I've done some tinkering. Couple things. We're gonna play a little exhibition here. So again, like, you know, you can't put any kind of ads. So again, I've like tried to find ways. Like, I mean, this is literally like a sign that you can see here. You can see that I've just kind of buried it in the wall to make it look like it's you know, an actual part of the stadium. I've kind of gone back and forth. I had this all brick all the way across, but honestly, it just starts to get really monotonous looking. Tried to do some unique stuff with the bleachers up here, different scoreboards. Again, just some kind of sections. And so again, like little goofy things, right? I'm out of memory, but like, you know, technically, how do you get to these seats? Well, you can't. There's no elevator. There's no stairs. So some of this, and that's one of my little tidbits, is if you get into Stadium Editor, you have to suspend your, you know, the belief in this all a little bit. I mean, there's escalators. I could actually go in and like kind of build out a concourse, and you know, I've done little things like I've had a couple entrances to the stadium and things like that. But you know, technically, like, how do you get up here? So you have to kind of suspend your beliefs in what's real. I guess your reality. And then in this little one, again, this looks nothing like Oakland. I didn't even look at it. I kind of just made it more of a fictional, because I might even do like relocate Tampa Bay to like North Carolina or something. So I try to keep it generic, but I kind of kept like, this is like an old little section of this downtown area. Of course, they've kind of revitalized the rest of it. You got some bigger buildings behind the stadium here. So, but you know, again, it's a little bit bland. Like, it'd be cool if you could kind of do something with these suites, maybe add a little, you know, life to them. But again, overall, I mean, it's cool. I would love if you could put your bullpens out here, because it would be nice to push this, because again, there's no railings technically, right? And I could sit here, I could kind of make railings, but you know, it takes up part of that 100%, right? So, you know, that's also not really handy. So I've kind of like used these scoreboards a little bit as like some railing. But yeah, again, it's not quite ideal. And it'd be nice if you could like move the bullpens and maybe put them back here, because then you could kind of slide the stadium back a little bit, and they wouldn't have to be up so high to get over this wall. Whereas you wouldn't really need a railing, because like there's no railings in these seats, but you don't need it, right? Like this is set up pretty well over here. So But gosh, what else? I kind of did this one where I thought maybe like you'd have like the team headquarters in just center field, so you got some statues out there, with a little bit of concourse. Again, I didn't want at first. I think you'd be really tempted to kind of jump in and just throw stuff everywhere, and you got bathrooms and snack shops and hot dog stands, and I mean you can get really out of control. And I think, I think part of the subtlety of design is keeping is you don't want to get too crazy with stuff, right? Like up here, I don't have like concession stands all over the place. I just threw a couple little things. If you think about it, guys, it's like if you've ever looked at like houses for sale online or something like that, and like you'll see where it's like this house has clearly been staged, right? They don't have stuff everywhere. They just set up the room so it kind of looks like, oh yeah, okay, this is seating up here. That's cool. Oh, this is, the entranceway. This is where you give your ticket to get in. So like you don't have to have every last little detail set up, right? The other thing I like about this coastal one, again, you have like these rocks behind you, which, I mean, that's not really what city kind of has their coast closed off by a mountain range outside of maybe Hawaii. You typically don't see that. So anyway, that's why I kind of went away from the coastal one and went with the large city instead. So the large city does kind of, as I get the camera here, it obviously blends in pretty well with what we have going. But I like the stadium a lot. It's fun. I played a couple games in it so far. These trees, they almost look like they're like fake a little bit. I was almost thinking of like changing these, but again, I mean, just super cool. So like you can pull up all of these different things, and I mean, just really, really impressive. Really impressive what they did. See, those look really plasticky to me, right? Like palm trees aren't that neon. Like those are just really, really neon-y. Those are a little too small. Those are the really tall ones. And so, I mean, just look at this. This is just the amount of palms they have, right? I mean, it's really, really wild. We're just going to stick with that one. You can change your, what do you want to call it? That batter's eye, all kinds of different stuff you can do. So pretty neat. Adam asked if you could remake Ebbets Field. Yeah, and I think they actually have. Which one was Ebbets Field? Is that? I'm trying to remember where that was. That the one in Philadelphia or? No, that's not Philadelphia. That's what, Sportsman Park or something. I'm getting them all mixed up. But yeah, I mean, you could essentially do, because like these are all like modern, right? So like I could click on this, for instance, and if I didn't want to have it kind of modern looking, you could replace it with, like a classic look. That's a bad example, but like you can see there's like little subtle differences. Like this one's got a little divider. That's a field level. Let's go to the actual upper deck. So classic upper deck. No, it actually doesn't look any different. That's interesting. So those don't look any different. Well, I guess the trim, right? The front trim. Oh yeah, okay. So yeah, the trim's a little bit different, and then got the same chain link fence. They go to all this trouble to like build this beautiful stadium, and they just put up a chain link fence in the back. I love it. So you got different end caps you can put on, and I mean, there's lots of really, really cool things. And for those on PS5, guys, I mean, this is I could just work on stadiums for the year, and I'd be happy. Like if they came out and said, "Hey, you can carry your stadiums over, and next year we're gonna have carryovers back," I would just work on stadiums a lot in this game because it's really cool. And like Out of the Park Baseball has a stadium tool too, but I mean, this is a whole other level. Like this was designed really, really, really well. Again, not perfect. I would love for us to be able to put, even if they just had like an ad package, like how they have these, right? Like this is just, I didn't like go in and put each of these panels in. They're just there, and I can change the material. I can put ivy on it if I want, but I'm out of space, so I can't. But like, just give me an ad package. Like if maybe in franchise, if you sign contracts with like Nike or whatever, like well, you're gonna start to see those show up here. Maybe you're gonna start to see them show up, behind home plate and on the boards back here, on the walls back here and whatnot. So, in the dugout. I mean, it'd be nice to see a little like action in the dugout, right? Just anything, helmets, something. It'd be nice to see people walking around. Show me some people at the snacks shop and whatever. Just be a really, really cool thing. So But yeah, overall, guys, I think less is more sometimes when you're talking about design and things like that. I mean, I work in design for a living, so um, it's something that I try to preach a lot because you can go really crazy with this stuff. But again, I think it's important to less can be more when you're talking about design. So, but got some concessions, and I jumped into some games to kind of see like, well, what do they show? Because like again, if they never show a shot of like out here, like who the hell cares? Like why? Before I had like this beautiful fence going around, and I put this road in, but then I realized like no one's gonna, they don't ever show it. Maybe they will, and it's just like I didn't need to get down to the detail work out here. It'd be cool. I would love to, because I had a whole thing. I had like a ticket booth out here and stuff. It was really cool, and I realized like, well, this is a waste. You're never gonna see this. Again, filling in some of these gaps would be great, but like it's not really necessary. At least that I've seen, because you're not going to see it very much. I mean, you're going to see this, right? So, but overall, pretty happy with it. Let's jump in and do some playing with the stadium. How about, let's see, we didn't actually do anything here. I have uploaded this to the vault, but another quirk with this, guys, is good luck finding it. I uploaded it today. Today is, April 24th or something? Yeah. Probably uploaded like an hour ago, so like 9-ish Eastern time or so. I'm not going to show you any sliders just yet. And again, guys, I'm not trying to like be difficult. I don't know. I don't know what I want to do with this game. I mean, who should we play here? Yeah, let's play Boston. That sounds good. So I can go in. So again, like look at this stadium, right? You got the ads on the walls. You got the markers for like the distance on the wall. There's just a little bit more detail. All that foul ground, that'd be cool to kind of add. So I mean, these stadiums are going to look better. They're going to look better every time. But still, pretty cool that I can load up. And you can load up any of these. By the way, someone asked about Ebbets Field. I think one of these like pre-built ones is supposed to kind of be like an Ebbets. I mean, they can't obviously come out and just make Ebbets Field, but and it's funny. Like you'll see little things that are clear, like that tiger. That's like from the front of Comerica Park, and I mean, you're gonna see a lot of different stuff in here. You're like, wait a second, I know where that stadium's from. There's the Wrigley Field scoreboard, right? You can see up in the corner there, and that's the Brooklyn Bridge. It looks like, so you can make a Brooklyn Stadium. Is that where Ebbets Field? I don't remember where Ebbets was, but so they did a really, again, their designers, whoever did these, like not just the tool itself, again, it's extraordinary. It's one of the best sports game features I've ever seen. And like I know NBA 2K's had an arena builder, and that's really, really well done too. But I mean, there's a huge difference between an NBA arena and a baseball diamond. Like there just is. The custom make your own baseball field, totally different. And that's no knock on 2K. That's just that. I mean, basketball arena, they're just kind of boring, right? But I mean, you can do so much different stuff with a baseball field. And so, pretty darn cool. Again, these are all the default ones. I mean, look at that. Just using elevation, things like that. I mean, it's talk about like a sim baseball game. It's kind of like Sim City. I know they made a little arch there. That's kind of cool. That's funny how they took those. On the left, that's like 3 rocks that they just kind of rotated the middle one. Made a little ledge. That's a smart idea. They have a boat back there. That's cool. So this one's pretty neat, right? It's like a red rock. You got the concert on the left, and so again, the center field, you can actually see. That's from Philadelphia, right? That's the Philadelphia hitter eye. So like you'll see little parts that are like, oh, is this the one? This might be the like, Ebbets looking field one. So again, they're not like exactly in there. I want to see how they elevated that church. Oops. I can't really see it. But that's a cool idea, because again, you'll never see it over that wall probably. So like they elevated that church back there. It's probably just floating on thin air. But it looks cool up high like that. So yeah, I mean, going through, and this is kind of like a Jack Murphy Stadium, Winfield. That's literally San Diego's hitter's eye. Yeah, I mean, this looks like the old, but they're just finished tearing it down, unfortunately. Well, I think it's fortunately, but a lot of people hear it unfortunately, but that's the worst stadium I've ever been to in Qualcomm. No offense. No offense, Padre and Charger fans and all that. That stadium is horrendous. Horrendous. Ryan, no, we're gonna jump in and do some gameplay. I'm just kind of showing, you know, some of these. Oh, that's cool how they use the. So they used the coastal one and they created a little island out there. So again, very Bay Bridge looking. This would be a really cool one if it's too bad San Francisco already has a new and beautiful stadium. But you could just use this template and just kind of change the stadium but keep the background. It's very cool. This one's sharp. I like the suites that they did. It's very cool. That's something I might actually tweak my stadium a little bit for. I like how those look out there, but I also like to kind of show out the background a little bit. But this would be a good Northern California base too, with the mountains and the hills and everything. That looks really sharp. This would just be a good base to use. Let's keep that in mind. Maybe I'll move my stadium to Charlotte. It's like a campus-looking one. So yeah. Anyway, just really cool. Oh, let's pick a stadium here. So let's play in the one I built. Ryan apparently doesn't want to spend any more time in Stadium Creator here. He's got to get his PS5 still. Ryan, you'll understand. The Stadium Creator is the coolest thing in this game. Period. End. It's not even close. I mean, I guess, you know, solid game of baseball. So we'll take a look at the stadium here and you can see. So again, missing ads, right? It's kind of a bummer. I don't even know if those scoreboards are active. I haven't even checked. But this is what it would look like if you just relocated the team, you know. So again, sliders, I'm not going to get into details just yet. But I am on Legend here. You will see Legend. You're going to see that new pitch mode, which I am still really, really rusty at, but I'm working at it. What else are you going to see? You're going to notice a couple things. You'll notice a few things right away that are different. I think will be kind of cool.
And now here is Kike Hernandez, and we are ready for some
all right, so again, bear with me here because the pitching is going to be rough. I'm still getting used to this here.
And look out!
Woohoo! All right.
Auspicious way to begin our ball game here this afternoon.
I'm awful at it. And the crazy part is I don't really understand it yet, so that's why I like. So there's a good look at the stadium. Looks pretty good. Still even could look a little cluttered. Again, it's less is more, right?
The 2-0 on the way. And he gets him to pop it up on the right side of the infield. And this is
all right, so there you're noticing one big change I'm planning for this year, and that's fielding aids are completely off, but it's manual fielding. There's a good look at the stadium there. You see, like, there's nobody walking around in the concourse or anything like that. You know, it'd be cool to see someone like walk out one of the suite doors. But guys, it is fun as hell to field with this stuff off. I kind of just did it accidentally, and I fielded a few balls, and I'm like, I kind of love this. So we're going with it.
Started to go around, but it's ruled strike one anyway. And set up behind the dish is Clyde Washington.
See, the dugout's just like kind of bland, right? Like, show me something, like some sun seeds, sunflower seeds, something.
Down in the strike zone, he'll definitely call that ball right at the knees. If he's consistent with it, Dan, which Clyde always is, I'm okay with it.
2 balls and a strike to count.
At least I'm like missing in like the vicinity of where I want to miss. But the beauty of this pitch setup here is that
1 out, nobody on.
You're gonna walk guys, right? Like I probably just did here. Yep.
And he lays off here, ball 4, and he'll become the game's first base runner here with 1 away.
Whoa, you know a pitcher is really fighting himself when he misses a zone by that much. I'm surprised the catcher.
Guys, thanks for popping in. What's up, Daniel?
So 1 gone in the inning here with a runner at
using
first,
a custom stadium that I
spent
spent too much time working on.
From the stretch.
It was fun. I'm really hoping it gets patched a little bit. I would love to see a few more things we can do. I'll be pretty pumped if they do that.
Misses for the second ball.
Okay,
He's having a really hard time finding his rhythm and finding the strike zone. It's going to allow this offense to keyhole him in big situations. He's got to figure it out pretty quick.
Runner at first here, 1 man out.
See if we can give him a chase here.
3-1.
I wanted that in the dirt. That was awful.
This is where you cash your checks right here.
Oh, Adam, I'm talking about just the stadium stuff. Sorry, yeah, nothing specific with the game. Oh, I'm glad that the old sliders are working. Yeah, I always like to try and start fresh. Oh my gosh.